This is Culture Barbell level 3. We'll be taking everything into a little bit further of a progression. And don't think that you have to go straight on the progressions on everything, right? If some things in level 2 are still kind of difficult, stay there. But if some are easy, then take the progression, right? If some things at level 2 still feel like they're worthwhile doing, keep doing them. Don't have to leave them. You can add the progression and not leave those things. The things from level 1 and 2 can serve as warm-ups for level 3. And they should. They very well should serve as warm-ups for level 3. I'll get into sets and reps in that after I demonstrate the movements though. So the first movement, we're going to take the rotations that we've been doing on the floor, laying on our back, and make them do something more practical. Before we kind of just working on joint mobility, right? The mobility of the hips and the shoulders and the thoracic spine. Now we're going to make it something that's actually a thing, right? Actually a movement that is practical for everyday living. And it's going to be a sit-up, or a rotational sit-up is what I like to call it. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pushing on this leg, my left in this case, because I'm sitting up to my right. And I'm going to use that push to get me up on my right elbow. Notice as I go, I take the hand across and bring that hand to the ground too. And that's going to get me in a seated position basically. Right? I'm going to be sitting on one hip, posting the other hand, and I'm in a sitting position on the floor. This will eventually lead to some standing positions. But for right now, we're just working on the sitting. Now to go down, I'm going to bring both my hands to the ground. And I like putting that elbow down and rolling back, making a big circle. Coming up, there's this method. That works, right? There's also this method I kind of like. You bring that elbow to you and roll over the elbow. Either one works. But again, we're working on that hip rotation that we developed in the first one, right? And using some of that thoracic rotation we'll develop in the second one to actually get us from a laying down position to a sitting position. Again, rolling head down, roll away, head down, roll away, roll in. You can go arm out to your side and then roll, and then come back, coming up on that elbow, and then come back. Obviously, we're going to do both sides, right? You can flip from one side to the other. It's a nice one. Making a big circle with the head and using that foot, that hip, to drive you into that rotation. Okay? So that's the rotational sit-up. Now, second move we're going to do is the bridge. We're going to go back to another version of a bridge. This time we're going to go back to 2 legs because I want to work on upper body mobility now to help us with the 5th exercise we're doing today, which is the front squat. So what we're going to do is we're back to 2 legs on the floor. Feet nice, toes nice and spread, feet flat, right? All that good stuff. Lower back is flat, chin is tucked. Same as the first couple of bridge variations. But this time, instead of having your arms here by the side, going into what's called a shoulder extension, right? We're going to bring them up here into shoulder flexion and try to get the palm of your hand to the floor next to your ears. Right? Now you can't see my face. I can see you through my elbow. Anyhow, so palms next to your ears or next to your head. And this is going to make it significantly harder to keep the lower back flat on the floor. But that's what we're working on, right? So if as you lift your arms, your lower back goes, bring it back down before you start the bridge, okay? So, and if you can't get your palms completely flat, then we might have to go fingertips at first. Whatever. We'll get there eventually, right? Palms on the floor, elbows pointing back and up. We are going to lift our hips off the floor, making a straight line here. Butt's tight, abs are tight. Then when we come back down, we're going to try to keep, like I've said before, these bones and these bones parallel to each other as we come down to a flat lower back. Again, basically it's the same as the first bridge, but we're putting the arms in a position that will require more thoracic extension, more rib cage mobility to do, right? And that will help us with the front squats that we will do later, and you'll see why when we do them, if you're not familiar with what a front squat is. Now, third, we're gonna work on the push-ups. We're gonna progress the push-ups. Knee push-ups are nice, right? Last time we did knee and elbow push-ups, right? And yeah, we could go to knee and arm push-ups, right? But I have a favorite progression. That's not that one. It's an elevated hands push-up. Let me bring my trusty chair here. The elevated hands push-ups, I find allows people to maintain a better core, a better spinal position, better plank position through the push-up, right? And there's not endless, I guess, but there's a whole lot of levels that we can take this with. I'm gonna use chair because that's what I got, but you could use like a table, right? Or a kitchen counter up here, right? The higher the hands, the easier the push-up becomes because there's more weight on your legs, right? I don't like wall push-ups because when you do wall push-ups, the head has nowhere to go, right? You can't go all the way down or almost knock that down. But with this, with a table or a chair, right, we can be in a nice planky position and our head and our hips will travel together as we go down and travel together as we come up. And everything stays together. Now, one thing about shoulder movement during a push-up, we kind of alluded to that last time with the elbow knee push-up. What we're working on is the ability of the shoulder to follow or protract, to follow the arm. Now, when we're doing these, not only does the shoulder have to follow on the way forward, it has to lead on the way back. Shoulder, and when I say shoulder, I mean scapula, clavicle, the whole deal, right? Comes back as the hands come backwards, right? As we sink into that push-up. And again, that is crucial to shoulder health while doing a push-up. We don't want to see, this is good, that is not, right? No up like this. Shoulders are back when the hands are close to your body. Shoulders follow the arm and roll forward, not up and forward, just forward around your, I like to say press to your armpits, right? Press through your armpits when you go forward and have that shoulder follow so the socket points forward. And as you come back, the socket points a little more back. It's not that big of one, it's like, but whatever. It's big enough. So hands elevated push-up. Give it a go. Again, if a chair's too hard, look for a table. Look for a kitchen counter. Keep elevating till it gets doable, right? No, not super easy, but we certainly want doable, right? With good technique. Fourth movement, right? Now we're gonna start deadlifting from below the knees. We're deadlifting from above the knees the first time. The thing when we deadlift from above the knees is that sometimes we're just here. And that's a really limited range of motion. Doesn't really help with a lot of day-to-day activities, right? That we have to get low and pick things up from the floor. So we need to start working to get as low as we can in that hip hinge or deadlift motion. And of course you can use a low chair. I'm gonna use these yoga blocks, so I just have a lot of them. But you can use a low chair. You can use some exercise bench, like little steps, things I've used in the past. So right now this is slightly below my knees. Right? And as I hinge down, look how I'm way more parallel to the floor. And that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking to get as parallel to the floor as we can, little by little. And eventually, if you get strong enough, which most people can, right, with long enough time strength training, we can get those big plates and pick the weight right off the floor, right? We don't need to elevate at all. Eventually, for most people, right? If you're really tall, maybe not. Right? Maybe not. You have to be really tall and really slim, even maybe not. But for most people, you'll be able to pick those weights off the floor, the wider ones, right? Especially if you get the light ones, because they come in all kinds of weights, even though they're big. So again, basic mechanics though of this movement is, I feel like you can't see my head. Let me move these things back. Basic mechanics of this movement is the head and the hips move together. You take the bar and you lock your arms in by pointing those elbows back. And then you drive the hips forward and the head comes back, right? Hips go back, the head goes forward. Hips go forward, the head goes back. The knees bend just enough to keep the weight centered on your foot between the front and the back. right? So that is our deadlift from weight, with the weight below the knees. I could go lower than this, obviously, right? And this is the cool thing about these little cheap yoga blocks is that, I just took 6 inches off, which means I have to go down 6 more inches. And see, here's the thing, even with me, those 6 inches lower, that's kind of my limit, right? If I want to go down, I need to either bend my spine or bend my knees more, make it squattier. And that's really pushing my limit of where I want to lift really heavy weights from. So maybe if I warmed up more, I could get there, but it's pushing it, right? It's a little bit lower than a bar would be with big plates. There you go, like that. And you don't want to push it till you're here. You want to stay here. So, anyhow, next is the barbell front squat. Now, it's a huge jump. It's a huge jump from the curl squat to the front squat. A huge jump in shoulder mobility, and this curl, which we're going to use right now, is way weaker than this curl. So it's actually going to be a lighter movement for a lot of you until you learn how to use your hips to bring the weight to your shoulders, which I have a whole video on, but we'll include it in the progressions, right, to actually do a clean. But here's what we're going to work on for now, to just get used to the position, if we can get there. If not, keep doing that bridge and keep working on the curl squat, okay? So here's what we're going to do for now. I want you guys to, we're not going to curl out here. That's inefficient, right? That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to build the forearms. We're trying to get the weight to our shoulders. So we're going to pull it into us as we curl and then drive our elbows under. See how it's close to me? I pull it into me as I curl it up, drive my elbows under. And I'm waiting in that nice front squat position. If you can keep all your fingers under the bar, that's great. If you can't, well, it's not the end of the world, right? We'll get to it. And again, I still like you guys to squat to something, right? I'm pretty good at getting pretty low, so I'm gonna just go ahead with these two right here, but you can use a higher chair, right? Doesn't matter. My feet are still straightest as I can make them, right? I rather you sacrifice depth than toeing your feet out, right? Some people think you can toe your feet out to get more depth, and that's cool. Some people are of the belief that you should keep your feet straight and not go as deep. I'm kind of on that camp when doing loaded movements, right? Keep your feet straight, don't go as deep. So anyhow, you keep your feet straight, your weights evenly distributed between your toes and your heel and your big toe and your pinky toe, right? Right in the middle, both front and back and left and right. And we're gonna sink into that squat. Head goes back as the hips, head goes forward as the hips go back. Did I knock off my thing? No, I didn't. Okay, anyhow, head goes forward as the hips go back. And see, I can't even make it that low right now. But again, I went too low, what can I say? But that's as far as I want to go, right? I feel that if I go lower, my spine's going to start rounding. So I just don't go that low, right? When I feel this starts happening, I stay right there, right? If I feel my spine is rounding, if I feel my toes are splaying out, I stop, right? I stop that depth. Maybe in a few more reps, few more sets, I'll get lower, right? Maybe if I do my customary warm-up, which takes 10, 15 minutes, I could get lower. And I would if I was lifting heavy, but that it is what it is. That's it for the actual movements. Now, sets and reps. It is not a big deal when you're learning a movement. It just isn't. Once you're good with movements, once you're comfortable with all these barbell movements I'm trying to teach you, and some bodyweight movements that I've noticed, if you haven't noticed, we're doing push-ups, we're doing all the bodyweight movements because we can, right? Because we have floor. Then we start worrying about sets and reps. Right now, it's all about practice, right? So I say 2 to 4 sets, 5 to 10 reps, whatever. It's just about getting reps in and getting an average or around 25 to 35 reps, which is what most strength training programs have you at, right? Per movement, right? 25 to 35 reps per movement. Now, again, don't stress about weight. Only add weight when it's easy. You can still do these every day. If you're doing it every day, then we're going towards the lower range, right? 4 sets of 5 or 2 sets of 10, right? Lower range of volume. And If you are pushing weights and going heavy, maybe not every day go heavy. Take a heavy day, a light day, heavy day, a light day. You're doing every day. But it's perfectly fine to do every other day strength training. That works. That's worked since the beginning of time. And then walk on the off days. Use all those walking progressions I suggested like in the last program. I wouldn't really go much crazier than, some walk running, some running with a backpack, some walking with a backpack, maybe a light jog. We didn't go much crazier than that. There's no need to. If you want to use cardiovascular equipment and you don't like going outside, then, whatever, that works too. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Please, questions. If you have questions on any of the jammering that comes out of my mouth, write, tell me, ask me. It'd be great. Have a nice day.